Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Yoga Soul, Nashville, Tennessee. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Nashville, everybody. Had a great kirtan last night with their incredible community. You know, Nashville is like blowing up. It's one of those places that everybody's moving to. Why aren't you there yet, Kastuba? You should be all over Nashville. And you're not. You're running late now. Manhattan is old school. No one thinks of it anymore. It's over. It came and went. Manhattan blooped. Now, Nashville's the place. And they've got this incredible Krishna conscious Bhakti Yoga Center. It's actually called Yoga Soul Bhakti Center. They sort of like double copyrighted infringement on us. But we're going to let it go because we love them so much. But people came out of the woodwork. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to pull somebody out of the work. You want to come over here for a second? I got this guy. I'm pulling him out of the woodwork. This is our walk on Thursday today. What's your name again? Mikey, get over here. Speak right into this microphone. Look at this guy. He's a big, giant, beautiful man.
Hello, everybody.
Mikey has been listening to the show since when?
Started January of this year. I started listening. I heard Ragu on Joe Rogan, and I went back and listened to the first canto. Just in the past month, I kind of jump forward and caught up with you guys where you're at today. And yeah.
Wait a second. You've listened to 1,000 episodes since then?
No, it's like 200.
Okay. Oh, you jumped ahead.
Oh,
okay.
No, I'm sorry. I listened to the
That's
first
okay. That's all right.
episodes.
That's a lot of episodes too.
That's not bad.
And tell us how it changed your life, or did it change your life?
It's changed my life so much.
Tell me how I changed your life.
God, I mean, I've been kind of a spiritual seeker my whole life and looked in a lot of different resources, but this was the first place that really pushed like having a sadhana, getting up early, regulating yourself. I've been chanting around every morning.
Wow.
My girlfriend Zoe and I, we stopped eating meat. It's just
Look at you
changed our
guys.
life in so many different ways. And we've kind of been looking for a sangha, and feel so blessed that Bhakti Center here in Nashville is opening.
It's an amazing story. It's an amazing
That's great.
story.
What's
He's
your
never
name
been
again?
to Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey Donaldson. Nice to
Nice
meet you
to meet
guys.
you,
Sorry,
Mikey.
I'm a little nervous right now.
No, you're doing great.
There's only 13,000 people looking you up and down right now. Don't sweat it. That's amazing. Isn't it amazing? It's
That's
like
wonderful.
he found Bhakti, looking for Bhakti randomly, and then there's a Bhakti center open up in his neighborhood. It's like next level Krishna miracle. Krishna is following you. Thank you, Mikey Donaldson and Zoe.
I think now that Mikey Prema got initiated, then
Well, we
now
already-
he could be Mikey Prema.
Oh, he's maybe the new Mikey Prema.
Someone's got to take it.
Someone's got to take that name. There was like an old school from the old days, a guy around for a long time called Mikey Prema, and he just got initiated after 30 years or 20 years. You might be the new Mikey Prema.
He got initiated like this weekend. So
Like this week. He's like, okay, I'll take it.
Mikey Prema.
Well, isn't that a great Krishna miracle? It's a Krishna. I'm gonna blow your mind with a Krishna miracle with my friend Mike Stone, who I'm staying with this weekend. He's got a Krishna miracle for you.
Mike Stone.
But these Krishna miracles are happening every day.
Okay.
when you're in tune with them. Once you turn towards Krishna, Krishna starts moving in your life in ways. Krishna's
So
real. He's not a
what happens?
painting. He's
So
not just a painting. He's a real. I can't tell you. I'm going to let him tell you.
okay.
But yeah.
All right. Then
But
let's
that was
keep it
pretty
moving,
amazing.
Raghunath.
We're going to keep this going. We're going to
Okay.
keep this going.
Move over to
You
Mara.
know, Kylie's with us. Kylie from Atlanta, who's a regular Zoomer, and Kylie says she dreams regularly of me and you correcting her. Isn't that funny?
Are we wagging our fingers at her?
You are. What do I do? Do I wag? Do I? I'm good cop. You're bad cop. We work in tandem in her dream.
Okay. Someone's got to be the bad cop. Now why don't we go back?
Well,
Go
this
ahead.
is important. I think they
Yeah.
say that when you have dreams of your teachers or spiritual master
Those are for
or
real.
if
They're
they
meaningful.
follow in line with what the guru says, what the shastra says, guru and what the sadhu say, you can accept them as real. You can accept them as real instructions.
All right.
I had a full-on Krishna conscious dream last night that I was actually giving a class. And I even remembered the analogy I was using when I woke up. Like I was using an analogy and I was giving a satsang and I was saying that Krishna is attracted to us. And for the devotee, he's running towards us in the same way metal just gets attracted to magnets. I never even used that analogy before. Is that crazy?
It's unbelievable, Raghunath. Let's use it today. Let's work it into the show.
Let's work that in. Okay.
But in order to do that, first we'll have to go to Mara back in Super Soul Studios.
Mara, have you had any spiritual dreams last night? What was your dreams of?
We
Actually,
weren't going
last
to
night I had a
Mara for
dream of
dreams,
Rocco.
Raghunath. We were going to
I
her.
was thinking we share our dreams every morning.
No, we were going to Mara for announcements. That was the idea.
I did dream of Rocco last night, though.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay, that's sort of spiritual.
You know.
Okay, tell me.
We have Bhakti recovery group meetings today at 9 a.m. and noon, and tomorrow is asana with the Cult of Cain, Josh Kane's asana class for our Patreon members.
Postural?
Patreon members, thank you for supporting us. Really appreciate that. That's the way this flows. I want to give a big shout out and a thank you personally. If you were all here, I'd hug you one by one because it really helps this show happen. If you want to support us, it's a community supported podcast. Just go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
Okay.
Kastuba, any announcements for you? Friday, special day Friday, huh?
Friday is Radhastami tomorrow, so we're going to celebrate. That's Radharani's birthday.
Radharani's birthday.
Also, please continue to sign up for the sage groups because they're filling up fast. And there's something else. Oh yeah, and don't forget that it's that Bajra Purnima is coming up. So please take advantage and get together with friends. Do whatever you have to do. And Mara, maybe you could pull up the info on that.
Yeah,
Malini, reach out to Malini.
If you're unfamiliar with that, it's the day to give in charity. If you want a set of Srimad Bhagavatams to someone who you think would really want them.
Yeah, they can send
And you
them
could, yeah,
you can choose the person you want them to go to. You can send them to a prison. You can send them to all kind of places. They'll help you place it.
out of all places, you said a prison. You can
Why
send
not
them
a
to a prison.
The
You can send them to a
prisoners-
library.
You know, prisoners need them.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, everyone does.
And prisons is
What's
one of
your
the main
world's a
places
prison?
that they focus on. Okay, so it's Malini. You call Malini at 669-289-5563. That's 669-289-5563.
I think the extremely wealthy need them. Operators are standing by. There's like a devotee lady in a sari with a headset.
That
Photo.
is what it is. It's Malini. She's great.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I think I don't think just prisoners need them. I think the extremely wealthy need them.
Oh.
Like the 1% need Bhagavatams.
Everybody does, but they can afford them. Prisoners may not be able to afford them.
You know what they really need?
To donate a set.
No, well, that, but they need the desire to read them. And this is what
Oh.
everybody listening to this show must do. We must become examples of the Bhagavatam,
Yeah.
right? We must become like the book Bhagavatam. We must become
person
the people that are
Bhagavatam.
carrying the Bhagavatam with us.
Yeah.
That whenever we go to people, they want to hear, like, how do you know this stuff? And then you say, it's the Bhagavatam. So if we become those examples, then people will want to read
Raghunath's lagging here on us. Come back, Raghunath. Come back.
I'm lagging. I got a little
You
lag
lag.
here in Nashville. Okay, I'm back.
Let's get on
Can you
to
hear
the
me?
nugget, Raghunath. We gotta. You're getting into all of this is great, but we're just limited in time. We gotta get to the nugget.
Okay, here's the nugget.
Who's it from?
It's from Dean Koontz. He's an American author. His novels are billed as suspense thrillers,
Yeah,
but frequently incorporate elements of horror.
Man, you're lagging. Raghunath, you're
Fantasy,
lagging on us. You
science
lagged on us.
fiction, mystery, and satire. Am I lagging?
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh, now one.
Okay. I think we need me to read this nugget.
This is gonna work, buddy.
You're lagging off and
Okay.
on, left and right, Raghunath.
I'm gonna be good now.
Okay, good. All right. So this is from Dean Koontz, who he's a novelist, and he's got something to say about love. You lagged. You lagged on us, right?
Back.
Okay. I think your nickname has something to do with love, Raghunath, like the love guru or the love guy. Maybe that's just you, Raghunath, the love guy.
What are you talking about? Can you hear me okay now? I shouldn't be lagging. I was on the
Okay,
wrong
so
one.
far so good.
Okay. So
Take it,
here's the
love guy.
Okay. The selfless love that we give to others to the point of being willing to sacrifice our lives for them is all the proof I need that human beings are not mere animals of self-interest. I like that.
We are not mere animals of self-interest.
We carry within us a divine spark, and if we
Aha.
choose to recognize it, our lives have dignity, meaning, and hope. It's amazing that this is coming from a guy who writes horror books, horror, fantasy, and science fiction.
Well, it could come from anyone, Raghunath.
Yeah, well, yes. Okay.
Because
I like
you all
this.
carry that divine spark. Right?
So that yeah, well, you know, I can't remember what book used this analogy, but if it was all just like survival, we are here. It's survival of the fittest. Whoever's the fittest, I'm the strongest. I can beat you guys all down. I'm going to be there.
Lord of
you
the
know,
Flies?
and
Is that what you're thinking?
yeah, it's like Lord of the Flies, but it's not that. We find in many, many cases, you know, a car is driving at Kostuba and I save Kostuba's life, but I risk my own life. How many times have we seen that there? So there is an
think I've
element
ever
higher
seen
than
that,
survival of the
Raghunath.
fittest. And that's,
I don't
you've
think
never
I've-
seen a person trying to save somebody's life,
No, I've never
risking
seen
their
you.
own? Come
I'm just saying,
on!
I've never seen you risk your life to save
you.
mine.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. I would.
I
think
bet
I
you
would.
would.
You never know until the 11th hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, my point being is that people sacrifice their lives all the time. It's not a selfish world. Although we see elements of selfishness, the idea of a spirit soul is there something higher than our own self-interest, and it's really a beautiful thing, and that's what sort of separates this concept of survival of the fittest and love.
Yeah, you know, he hit on a couple, 2 or 3 things here, right? He recognized that by nature we're not selfish. That's kind of an imposition on us, right? Our selfishness is it's a mental programming that's an imposition on us. It's artificial. It's not who we are. He recognized that underneath there's what he called a divine spark, which is the interesting language that he used, right? That
Yeah, we say that all the time. Divine
We say it
spark,
all the
divine
time.
spark. I say that like many times a day.
Okay. And then what he did, which I thought is really nice, and is really a lot of what we try to do with this podcast and what Bhagavatam does. Let's recognize it, right? Let's recognize it in ourselves, that divine spark. Let's recognize it in other people. And if we do that, what is the result? We're not just saying you go to heaven, you don't go to hell. That would be religion, right? This is spirituality.
Yeah.
We're saying when you recognize it, it gives your life dignity. It gives your life meaning. It gives your life hope, right? It really what it's spiritual vision, and spiritual vision just as a byproduct gives dignity, meaning, and hope. You know, but let's try to reckon. Let's hear from these texts, speaking about how we are. What is the term you like to use, Raghunath? The pure soul theology.
Pure theology.
It's pure soul theology that we're not saying that we're born sinful, wicked, evil. No, we're saying that by nature, eternally, we're selfless, we're loving.
We are pure souls.
Raghunath,
Pure
you're
souls.
lagging worse
and we're
than
learn them.
you're lagging worse than ever before. Yeah. Sorry to.
What the hell?
I don't know why.
I'm saying such significant, important
I know
things today.
that's why it hurts so much. Go ahead, try again.
My live people.
Say what you're going to say again.
We're not born sinful. We're born pure spirit souls that have just forgotten. We're born with bad habits. And we've been carrying those habits on from not only from childhood, for lifetimes of bad habits. And so the whole yoga process, the entire yoga process is just meant for us to remember who we are.
That's right.
That's it.
Okay.
Isn't that a great way to sum up the yoga system? Remember who you are.
Way.
I like that. I've been working hard on refining that definition, but that's it.
And then, so what the Bhagavatam is this? It's kind of like the cherry on top of a vast collection of literature composed by this one great sage, Vyasadeva.
Mm-hmm.
And within that because he's aiming that vast literature at different people on so many different levels of understanding, it doesn't seem like he's always emphasizing this selfless love as the goal. Sometimes he's putting a little carrot out in front, and that's saying like, hey, be piously, materially successful, right? The Vedas teach that, right? And or another time he's saying, hey, let go of your attachments and find peace, right? That's more Upanishadic.
Yeah.
But all of that is meant to as just stepping stones to that divine spark that he's talking about, that divine love, that selfless love, which brings dignity, which brings and in one sense, what Bhagavatam is saying is that if we don't recognize that selfless love as the ultimate goal, that prema, that pure love, then to one degree or another, our life will lack dignity, meaning, and hope.
Dignity, meaning, and hope.
Maybe not entirely, but to one degree or another, it's going to lack dignity, meaning, and hope. And when you fully realize that selfless love is the goal, then you can focus on that, and quickly dignity, meaning, and hope become very prominent in your life.
I like
so
that.
let's hand it to Dean.
That was pretty good. Where'd you dig up that one from, Kostuba? That's a great
I have my ways.
You're like a nugget harvester.
I sniff him out.
You're like a boar digging for truffles.
Okay. You'd like to picture me like that, huh? You're really getting a kick out of that.
Oh, Krishna.
Okay, let's get into Bhagavatam now, Raghunath. It's going to connect to this. It's all going to connect.
All right, great. Where am I? Mara, I need you back in my life.
I can help you with this, right?
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 4, Text 52.
Okay. So we are winding things up here, Raghunath, in this chapter. This is chapter we came back to Prajapati Daksha. He took a new birth. He, previously in the third canto, we read about how he offended Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
Right? He had this narrow religious view. He couldn't recognize it, even though Lord Shiva has an unusual appearance.
He's got a peculiar appearance. He doesn't appear very conventionally conservative.
Yeah, conventionally religious, right?
Yeah.
Convention, yeah. But he's the deepest lover of God, you know.
Yeah.
He didn't recognize that. He began to speak out against Lord Shiva, offended him, and everything like that. Then Lord Shiva's wife, who happens to be Daksha's daughter, came to visit him at a big event, and he just ignored her. Why? Because she's married to Lord Shiva. He just can't get it out. You know, just hey, let go of your animosity towards Lord Shiva. Try to understand that he's a very special. No, he couldn't do that. Then he started to speak out against Lord Shiva. The whole event broke into chaos. Lord Shiva's followers got very upset about how he spoke. And of course, I failed to mention that his daughter, being so disgusted with him,
lit herself on
fire. That
little detail you missed out on.
that was part of the reason why they were upset.
It was a failed party. They had a party.
It was a major party fail, and part of its failure was that he had his own head cut off, and it was eventually replaced by the head of a goat. That's humiliating. So Daksha got humiliated back in the third canto. Well, you know what, Raghunath? He took a new birth in a beautiful body, and now he's religious. And you know what, Raghunath? Daksha's no small timer. He's like,
he's like this. He's like, I picture Daksha to be like this Harvard professor, really sort of refined,
but like a
really
handsome one,
really handsome. But he's got a little chip on his shoulder. He's got a little chip, and all of a sudden, Shiva walks into Harvard Law School, and he's like, "Who is this man? Has no respect for me. Doesn't he know who I am?" And then it all goes down.
And so, what we see here from Daksha is he gives these incredible. He very nicely recites these Hamsaguya prayers.
Mm-hmm.
He chants them, and so well that Lord Vishnu himself comes and says, "Thank you."
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I mean, Lord Vishnu revealed his form to him.
So, right? Yeah, so he's no slouch, Daksha.
No, and this is what Bhagavatam does. It says, we want to share with you, now that you've read the Vedas, now that you've read the Upanishads and the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita, and you're kind of wondering, what is it all about? Now we're gonna make it abundantly clear that pure devotion is the goal here, that pure love is the goal. And the way that we're going to do it is we're going to take the people that are most successful at, say, karma, like Daksha. This guy is pious, and he's religious like crazy, and then we're going to humiliate him in front of you, right? Because he hasn't understood the full thing. And so,
how are you gonna humiliate him? Well, it's going to start with his head coming off, which is pretty humiliating.
Well, that was the first.
But that's just the beginning.
Well, and now he's back. He doesn't have that head anymore. He's like,
right.
As a matter of fact, this is what happens is what we're about to read right now, Raghunath. Well, why don't you read text 52?
I tell you, the story of Daksha, I'm sorry, it is like so funny. Because if you really want to humiliate him, what's the worst thing you could do to a person?
Give him a head of a goat.
Imagine walking around town with a head of a goat, especially if you were already proud of your beauty and intelligence.
Yeah.
You just like go into a coffee shop. I'll take a latte, please. Everyone's just like,
you look at a goat head. And that's why I said, if you don't understand that pure devotion is the highest thing, to one degree or another, your life is going to be lacking dignity, meaning, or hope, right? So his life started lacking a lot of dignity, even though he was so religious. Okay, so why don't you read text 52, and then I'm going to share something with you, Raghunath.
All right, sure.
Are we on 51? Or did we
let's go to 51. Yeah, that's right. It's 51.
It's 51.
Oh, you see, now he's so pleased. Lord Vishnu, he's saying, here's a beautiful, drop-dead, gorgeous young lady to be your wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening. You go ahead, read text 51.
Here's 51. Oh, my dear son, Daksha.
Yes.
Prachapati Panchajana has a daughter named Asikni, whom I offer to you so that you may accept her as your wife.
Okay, in text 52.
Text 52. Now unite in sexual life as man and woman. And in this way, by sexual intercourse, you will be able to beget hundreds of children in the womb of this girl to increase the population. The
Okay.
girl's like, what?
No, I think she was. The impression I get
think
is
she
she's
had a
like,
womb
"Yes."
that could handle that.
Yeah, she may produce like a child every day or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be
I
like
don't know if it was a big
litter
batch. I don't know if it was a
of
litter. I don't know if it was one a day. They say in the heavens that
It's different. Yeah.
when they have a child, it's like they immediately have the child, and the child immediately grows up.
Hmm.
So there's
Yeah,
none
because
of
I
this.
guess, right.
All the drawbacks.
Right. You think of a child, you think, well, what a great time of life. Actually, if you actually analyze the life of a child, they're crying all the time. You know what I mean? It seems like, oh, what a perfect time childhood. Are you kidding? You're scared of everything when you're a child. You have like
Okay.
unfulfilled desires when you're a child. You don't get what you want. Someone's always in charge of you. Yeah, no, it's
So now
all these things. No, I think it's good to talk about this stuff. So this concept of giving birth to many hundreds of beings from your womb. These are all things that are happening in higher dimensions. On this dimension, we can only give birth to a male or female human. That's it.
Okay.
And it takes time. They got to go through this whole painful period of growth and child. I mean, I just think of my
The
childhood.
pregnancy itself.
Going to junior high school, that was torturous.
The pregnancy itself is.
Pregnancy is tough. Yeah. So they speak about pregnancy. I mean, women, they
We're gonna try not to get canceled right here. Women.
No, I would say what I'm saying is women. They're like, I love birth. My wife was that when she was having babies. She was like, I love birth. The pain of birth is a joyful thing. I don't want any pain. Women do that. They step into that very difficult role of like, you know what? This is a beautiful thing. This is my Himalayan peak I will climb.
And hats off to
natural childbirth. Hats off to you guys. It's not like that in the heavens. In the heavens, it's like baby born.
Okay.
It's like that's it. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really, yeah.
But now here's the key point I want to get to, Raghunath. And because
me.
this is good, because we're almost done with this chapter, and then it's going to tie it into the next chapter. And the next chapter was where Daksha blows it again.
Oh man! Just when you were like, he got it, he figured it out, he offered those prayers.
He offered the prayers. Now let's look at the prayers. What did he express in those prayers, Raghunath? He said, Lord Vishnu, you possess the potency of unfailing knowledge and supreme willpower.
Okay,
he said that you're self-sufficient and you're not caused by any other superior cause like everybody else.
Check.
He said, though you're very difficult to perceive, you're directing everything behind the scenes.
Okay, informative, good.
He said that you're omniscient, you're unlimited.
Good, right on.
He said that you can be perceived in trance and that great yogis meditate on you in the core of their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
He said that, Lord Vishnu, you're the cause of all causes who existed before the creation will exist after its destruction. He said you are inconceivably opulent and all-pervading. You're everywhere. So he wasn't just saying, he knows that, like he realizes this, And he said these with such depth and such realization, such reverence,
Yeah.
That Lord Vishnu flies in on Garuda and says, here's a beautiful girl for you. Now go and have lots of sex with her. Like
thank you.
But this is the point. You see, where did Daksha conclude his prayers? The last thing he said, Raghunath, the very last thing.
Oh, you're a detective. You're a spiritual detective. What did he say? He
said, Sa Ishvaro me kurutam manoratam.
What does that mean?
May Lord Ishvara, may you, the Ishvara, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Controller, may you please fulfill my desires.
Uh-oh.
Right there. That was the last thing he said.
The last thing of his prayer.
So he
reviewed our daily bread.
So he's like, dear God, you are great. You are greater than me. You are controlling everything. You are omniscient. You are beautiful. The great yogis meditate on you. Now, please fulfill my desires.
Give me something.
Yeah. So he's religious, but he doesn't have pure selfless devotion.
Using God as a metaphysical Amazon Prime.
Okay. I don't think he was like that crude about it. But still, the point here is he didn't pray like so many of the other people we hear in the Bhagavatam praying. Dear Lord,
Sure.
all I want is to love you
Devaki,
and remember you.
Gajendra.
Yeah. So now I'm going to read you to you from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary to text 52 that you just read.
So this is a great saint within our lineage that, right, just like Prabhupada wrote these commentaries,
Yeah.
many saints historically have written commentaries on these ancient
This
books.
is about 350 years ago or so.
Yeah.
He wrote this.
What does he say?
So he said, I suppose that this is Vishnu speaking to Prajapati Daksha. You, having the quality of sex life between man and woman, will produce population in her. Right. This is his whole religious duty. It's not. He got the opportunity. Like, here's a beautiful girl, and have thousands of children with her. Like, be constantly engaged in sex with this beautiful girl. And you know what? It all falls within the dharmic kind of duty that you have. So it's like it's guilt-free. It's like it's, he says, so you and it because it's his duty as a progenitor to increase the population. So he says, though the Lord mercifully showed Daksha his form after Daksha praised him and had given him instructions, right? Have tons of kids. He cast Daksha onto the path of karma and material enjoyment, and not into the sweet ocean of prema, or divine love.
Ooh.
Okay.
Fine line, isn't it?
Because it's not what Daksha wanted. He wanted material enjoyment, right? He's like, I respect God, I appreciate God, I praise God, but I want some material enjoyment in life, right? So he continues. He says, that is because you with me, Raghunath? You lagged out. Why do you think?
I'm with you. I'm just drinking.
Why do you think Daksha didn't have pure devotion and wanted material enjoyment rather than pure love, like we hear from so many of the other figures in Bhagavatam? Why? Any guesses?
I think it's just one of those things that
I would be impressed.
My guess is that because we're embodied, it's almost like the workings, but
I'm talking about Daksha in particular. Daksha in particular.
Why does he want it? There's some. Oh, let's not play Stump Ragu right now.
Okay.
Listen to my stupid answer. Why don't you just tell us?
That is because the influence of his offense to his great devotee Shiva had not been completely removed.
There you go.
You see, so this is part of the Bhagavatam's message also, that pure love is so rare, so special, so influential that it's all that God cares about is pure love. And if you offend one who loves him, it brings these negative consequences into your life, right? So it's okay. You don't love me. You don't love those that love me. You want to forget about me? Go ahead, forget. So even though Daksha is so religious, so pakka, so like he does everything in the orthodox way to the T, he didn't get that love. He didn't have a desire for that love because he had offended Lord Shiva, right? So he continues. In the next chapter, Shukadev says that Daksha, impelled by the illusory energy of Vishnu, begot 10,000 sons in the womb of Akshini. Okay? But because of his offense to Shiva in the past, he also criticizes Narada. That's what's going to happen in the next chapter. He's going to offend Narada of all people.
Don't offend Narada of all people. Of all people. Offend anybody else. Don't offend Narada.
Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is going to bring up a point. Someone could come with a counterpoint. Well, hold it. This doesn't seem to make sense.
I love Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentaries where he's going like back and forth playing devil's advocate. Okay, go on. What did he say?
Because he's going to say, because if we look at the history of Bhagavatam, we can look and see, hey, Kardama Muni back in the third canto. Remember that? Kardama Muni, he was given the power, the mystic yogic power to create a flying palace that was practically like a city.
Yes, if you missed the third canto, there were flying cities.
And his wife, who had performed all these austerities like a good yogi wife, that so much to the point where she, her hair was like all like knotted dreadlocks, and her skin was all just like rough, and she went into the Bindu Madhava the
Sarovara.
Bindu
Bindu
Sarovara
Sarovara.
Lake, where like and underneath the water, these beautiful water goddesses came to her and just kind of like gave her a makeover, right? Like she got like, they rejuvenated her, and she came out in a body that was
like a reality show.
she came out in a body like she was like just incredibly celestially beautiful. And then Kardama Muni took her onto the flying palace, and the two of them just flew throughout the universe to all different heavenly places, just enjoying sexual union for like ages. So someone might say, well, hold it, but wasn't Kardama like a great yogi and everything? And he seemed to have been benedicted with. You're telling me that Daksha got this benediction because of his offense, but Kardama, he didn't commit any offense, and he got like all this material enjoyment.
There you go. Good point.
Okay,
What
so
does
this is,
Thakur say?
he says, one should not say the Lord also put Kardama into material enjoyment. So this doesn't make sense. Why? Because the Lord gave Kardama limited enjoyment on seeing slight desire in him, and he did not give him unlimited enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In other words, if I give Kardama unlimited enjoyment, he's going to forget about me. Daksha, he seems to want to forget about me, so he can have it. Right? And so then he quotes a verse. Obeying my instructions, offer the results of your actions to me. This is what Lord Vishnu says to Kardama. Becoming pure, you will finally attain me. Right? And then he shares a prayer that Kardama said back to Lord Vishnu. He said this just before that. He said, "O Lord, I offer repeated respects to you who destroy the desire to enjoy materially by giving realization of your sweetness, and who cover us with results of karma through the inspiration of your material illusory energy, who give material benedictions to low persons such as me, and whose lotus feet are worthy of worship." Now, Daksha never said anything like that, right?
No.
He never said, hey, Vishnu, what I appreciate about you is that you destroy the desire to enjoy materially from the hearts of people by showing them your sweetness. Kardama was saying, I'm a fool to want to enjoy anything, and I want that removed from my heart so that I can love you purely. Daksha never said that. Daksha said, please fulfill my desire. Right?
It's quite amazing that the whole yoga system actually has mantras, yajnas, pujas, etc., to actually make you enjoy the material world more.
If that's what you want,
there's very, very scientific, refined ways to do it, but you won't get bhakti.
Right.
You can have some bhakti mixed in there, swirled in there, like sort of like a piece of marble that's got like a swirl in it. You got to get a bhakti peppered into the material enjoyment, but eventually you're going to keep hitting forks. Do you want material enjoyment? Do you want to save your butt here? Do you want everything to go well with your life? Or do you want bhakti? Right. It doesn't mean that Krishna is going to take everything away necessarily, but you got to decide, do I want bhakti or do I want my senses satisfied?
Yeah.
And therefore, when you're on the path of bhakti, you already feel liberated. We feel like, well, if I had material enjoyment, if I had whatever I want, I'd actually be happy. No, if you actually get to the point where you have akama, no material desires except I want to do whatever Krishna wants me to do, that's actual enjoyment. That's the most enjoyment. That's why a person practicing bhakti is already liberated.
There you go.
Right?
That's true.
Because we were just saying, Krishna, you just give me whatever you want to do. I'll be happy with that.
They may still be in a body that's got the material laws are working on, but they're liberated. You're right, because they're detached from that body.
And in this human species, I mean, we're talking about higher beings. And when you hear about their material enjoyment, it's almost unfathomable. But let's face it, all you don't need, an electron microscope to analyze the human existence to realize even if you got all your desires met, there's still disease, there's still old age, there's still heartbreak, there's still, wrinkles.
And everything you said is a manifestation of
indigestion, all these things. There's still loss. There's people that you love will die. That's the reality.
And that's all the
body's doing all crazy. Yesterday I was doing nothing. I was just walking around the house, chanting a little japa. And I just turned my head to the right and I'm like, I smell. I've done all the appropriate things. I've done all the appropriate things to smell today. And I still smell. It's like you can't beat this material, especially on these earthly planets where we have joy, we have loss, we have gain, we have it's still a set.
It's a what? I'm sorry, you're lagging a little bit. It's a what? You said?
I'm sorry. I said it's like a sucker's bet. You're not going to win this one.
Gotcha.
Your investment in material life.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. I made my statement.
Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti is going to conclude his commentary here. He's going to mention another devotee that also had material desires. Can you guess who that might be, Raghunath?
Another devotee
from Bhagavatam. We've already covered it. Fourth canto.
Let's not play Stump Raghunath today.
Okay.
Let's play another game.
Dhruva.
Let's play Stump Mara.
Dhruva. It's too late. It's Dhruva.
It's Dhruva. Had some desires. He wanted revenge. He wanted sweet revenge.
Yeah, he wanted to be more opulent than his father because he got pushed off the lap of his father. He wanted to show his stepmother, I got more than you. You offended me. So he went, and then he went to perform yoga and meditation on Lord Vishnu to get all that stuff. But then when he saw Lord Vishnu, what was I doing?
What was I thinking about?
Why did I want anything material when here's the beautiful Lord Vishnu before me, and all I want is
such a beautiful analogy. I think that a lot of people, even listening today on Zoom or listening out there as others, could relate to. Like, I have A, B, C, and D. I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. I have all of it, but then I got a taste for bhakti, and all of it means nothing anymore.
Nothing. Okay, so.
And if I have everything, but I don't have bhakti,
nothing. So he writes. Nothing. So he writes all the devotees like Dhruva, though having material desires, still they desired bhakti. They desired pure love, right? Mm-hmm. Because Daksha did not desire bhakti. He says, but Daksha did not desire bhakti.
There you go.
Okay, Kardama had a little bit of material desire. Dhruva had kind of a strong material desire. Intense. But both of them desired bhakti. Daksha did not desire bhakti. Therefore, the Lord did not give him bhakti. And then this is the last sentence. This is the nature of traces of offense.
Ooh. It always goes back to offending the devotees.
Yeah. It doesn't go back to our weaknesses in self-control, our lack of
I don't wake up early.
High IQ.
I overeat.
Yeah, birth in a particular family or
it's all got to do with offending. It's amazing. What comes out of your mouth creates your destiny, right? They can be spiritual things, high things, transcendental things, or critical things. And if you can just chant the holy name and not make offenses, your spiritual life will accelerate. You'll go right through the ceiling.
You know, Raghunath, yesterday I mentioned to you that I spent some time with the Swami that I mentioned yesterday. His name is Bhakti Damodar Swarup Swami.
The biker Swami?
Yeah, he's in a devotional motorcycle club in France.
Can we call it a gang or no?
Generally, the motorcycle clubs prefer not to be called gangs. They're called clubs.
Okay. Yeah, the mafia does too. They call themselves we're just a club.
No, we're
like a cultural club.
The mafia is a secret society. They don't call themselves. They don't like come out and say,
"We're not a gang. We're not.
We don't even exist."
We don't even exist.
But that's what the mafia is. They're like they're a secret.
Okay.
But motorcycle clubs, they're out in the public. But it was really interesting. I spent time with him and a few others came over to my home. First, I had lunch with the K-Shore first, with Eric Casanova.
Eric Casanova, he's like the original singer of the Cro-Mags.
Yeah, he came on my
One
old
of
friend.
Kostuba's childhood friends.
I cooked him a little meal. We spent some time together.
He was a brahmachari when we were brahmacharis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. We're always in debt to a Keshwar.
He's a great soul. So then I got a text message that this Bhakti Swarup Damodar Swami was interested in meeting with me, and it was from Champak,
Yeah.
the Russian Champak, another great soul. And so she was there. Daivi Shakti, who's one of our Sage Group's leaders, was there from Colombia.
You had a whole little party yesterday.
And this
didn't you?
Damodar Swarup, Bhakti Damodar Swarup Swami from France, and another sannyasi was with him, another brahmachari. They all came over. I showed them the places of Prabhupada's pastimes in my neighborhood.
Were they dressed like swamis? Or were they dressed like motorcycle guys?
They're just like swamis.
All right. Okay.
and then we came back to my place and we talked for a while. And I really felt I liked the way that he expressed himself. And he didn't speak English, so it was all being translated, which is an interesting way to communicate. It kind of slows things down a bit and gives you a chance to concentrate on each sentence, But I like the way he expressed himself. But one of the things that he spoke on was this idea that as Vaishnavas, as Bhakti-yogis, and we really need to understand this correctly. It doesn't mean that we give up our discernment, but we don't criticize. We don't dwell on the faults. What we do is we go forward and do what we can the best that we can, and we set the best example that we can. If we see someone's a little lacking, we don't have to dwell on that, because generally we just get caught up in that. And the idea here is that what pleases Krishna. Here's a nice theology, right? That when you call Krishna, you call him the God of love. People call Krishna the God of love, right? I don't know if there's any real shastric kind of thing like that, but I think mostly they do because he's the lover of the gopis and he's dancing with all the girls. But he's the God of love in the sense that all he's interested in is love. He's not interested in creation. He's not interested in destruction. He's not interested in punishment. He's not interested in any of those things that we see God presented as. He's only interested in love. And when someone loves him, his love for them is so deep, and he cannot bear to hear the one that he loves be criticized. Even if it's someone that it doesn't even love him purely, still it ruffles his feathers. Right. Right. It's like a cat and you push the hair the wrong way.
Yeah, it ruffles the cat.
It's like Krishna's like, I do not like that. I'm not interested in hearing that. So there's one thing is constructive, pure-hearted, trying to help. He's interested in you trying to help, but he's not interested in criticism for the sake of criticism that just is our own, lacking of seeing the pure soul within every living being. So the Swami spoke on that a bit, and here we see Vishwanath Chakravarti, that this process of bhakti is powerful. You may be the lowest of the low. If you practice this process, it's so powerful. It's powerfully transformative. All you got to be careful about, do the practice, do it sincerely, and refrain from committing offenses to other living beings. Right? Don't do that. But as soon as you do that, even if you're daksha, right? He's the highest of the high in a sense, He's like totally orthodox religion. He knows all the prayers, he knows all the rituals, he's got all good pure habits. He's like, for him it should be easy, but he's got this problem, right? Because he committed offense to Shiva, that created a problem. He lost his desire to have real pure love. And not only that, but it got him kind of like in that cycle of it's easier to criticize the next time. And now he's going to criticize Narada next chapter. Oh, oy vey, what is he doing?
What are you doing? All right.
Why don't we wrap up the chapter?
All right. Text 52.
53.
Oh, we already read this. 53. After you give birth to many hundreds of thousands of children, oh boy, they will also be captivated by my illusory energy and will engage, like you, in sexual intercourse. But because of my mercy to you and them, they will also be able to give me presentations in devotion.
They'll be able to reconnect. So this is interesting. He's saying you're going to have tons of kids. You're going to train them up to be like you.
They're going to have tons of kids.
They're going to be like pious and totally into sex. Right? Okay. But again, as a duty. Right.
As a duty, it's just a job. It's just somebody's got to do it.
And they've been called upon.
That's your service. After the creator of the entire universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, had spoken in this way in the presence of Prajapati Daksha, he immediately disappeared as if he were an object experienced in a dream. Imagine being with Lord Vishnu and all of a sudden, whoop, disappears.
Yeah, it's like,
Why did I say this? Why did I ask him a question? He could have told me anything.
I think Daksha was pretty like, okay, well, the beautiful girl is here.
It was like, was
she didn't
Kennedy?
Disappear.
Who shot Kennedy? Just like anything. I would have like pulled out every conspiracy theory. What do you think about this?
No, he was just gone, like poof. Okay, so tomorrow's Radhasmi. I think we should have a special show for that. And then on Monday, next Monday, we'll pick up next chapter where all these kids are going to be born. Prajapati Daksha is going to be training them up to be good progenitors in the future. And then Narada is going to stick his transcendental nose into all this business.
Very good. Hey, guess what? Before your takeaways, I got a little announcement.
Does it have to do with the Bhakti Recovery podcast that you're going to
Yes, it does. The Bhakti Recovery podcast just dropped episode 3 featuring yours truly, Raghunath. Me and Jiva go at it. I think it's a good one. So you can check that out today. Remember to go to Apple Podcasts, give them a 5-star review, write a nice comment, encouraging, and share these things just like we want you to share our podcast with other people. Miss Mara.
Yes.
Hey,
What you got?
Hey.
Mara looks
right.
happy over there. I just have to say, it's like, it seems like things are very peaceful at the Super Soul Farm.
Oh no, we miss Raghu. It's no fun around here with that.
No fun. You just like
you look miserable,
He's
Mara.
just walking around with one of those whisks, looking and staring into space with her chef hat, just like, what the heck?
There's no one to cook for.
Let me just share with you that Mara cooks me the best meals ever.
She's great.
You're going to be really happy because I never go to restaurants. You always would say, Raghu, you got to stop eating at restaurants. You got to stop eating this. And you what? You know what? Mara's the best.
You know what, Raghu? You're kind of like Prajapati Daksha.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
And Lord Vishnu was like
riddled with material desires.
Here's the number 1 cook in Columbia County, and she will be cooking your meals.
But
That's like
shot him.
And now you will be humiliated.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, look at the blessings in your life, Raghunath.
Okay. I would have preferred you. We're talking about how not to be, and you compared me to the person of who not to be like.
That's true.
No, the offensive Prajapati Daksha. You're a lot like him.
No. I'm just saying.
Friends of the great souls.
You're right, Raghunath. You're not Prajapati Daksha. You're like Cardamom Muni.
I thought you were going to say Cardamom Muni. Yeah. Okay, Mara.
Okay.
Did you write anything down, or were you just knitting the entire time?
Hey, don't say that, Raghunath. Okay.
No, I wasn't criticizing. I'm just asking. Asking a question.
I sensed in your tone a bit of judgmental.
Don't
tone.
assume.
All right.
Don't assume, Mr. Kastuba.
Become the
Don't
examples.
assume that I'm assuming, Raghunath.
Oh, I wasn't
all right,
assuming
right,
that.
you
I
do.
was.
All right, become the examples of the Bhagavatam.
There you go.
Not Daksha.
Okay, check them out. Yeah.
By nature, we aren't selfish.
No, we're not.
No.
By nature,
There's a
we're
deeper
just
nature.
deeply. It's just deeply ingrained in us.
We're deeply covered.
Okay.
We're born pure spirit souls with bad habits.
Booyah! I like that one a lot. right?
Well, we're not born with the bad habits. That came later.
No, we're
No,
born with some bad habits.
Oh, in this birth. Okay. In this birth.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Right, Mikey Prema? Mikey Prema agrees with me.
Okay.
Recognize the divine spark.
Recognize it.
Recognize it.
Honor it.
Selfless love brings dignity, meaning, and hope.
Give me a higher love.
You get one per day, Raghunath. That was it. Okay.
That was it?
Next.
Okay, I'll take it.
The compromise.
Let the Lord destroy our material desires so we can fully love him.
Okay. That's a hard prayer to make, but it's a good one.
You.
Oh, you
Go
see,
ahead.
Raghunath? You see?
Bhakti practitioners are already liberated.
They are.
They are.
Krishna is only interested in your love.
That's all he's
Yeah.
interested in.
Doesn't want your money.
Mhm.
We just
Don't ruffle
we're having
Krishna.
lunch.
to
We're
Raghunath.
having lunch together. We're having lunch together. Who are we talking about, Sabrina? We were talking about somebody. We're just saying, like, somebody like, Krishna, what does Krishna want from me? What does Krishna? Oh, Krishna doesn't want Krishna, because they're like, oh, is it a cult or something like that? No, Krishna doesn't want your money. He wants your entire life. He wants
Your money and everything else.
He doesn't want your money. He wants everything. He wants 24/7 you. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Don't ruffle Krishna's feathers by criticizing a devotee. And
Don't ruffle Krishna's
And
feathers.
This is it.
investment in material life is a sucker's bet.
Suckers.
It's a sucker's bet.
You're a sucker.
Don't be a
Society
sucker.
suckers.
Society sucker. Thanks everybody for joining us. A lot of people joined late. Thanks for Mikey Pram and Zoe, Chloe, Zoe, all the others out there, Sabrina and Nick from Nashville, and of course, Yoga Soul Bhakti Center here in Nashville. Kylie Brown, we're going to Atlanta today. I'm going to see all the Atlanteans. See you tomorrow at Kashi. Doing a program at Kashi, and I think I might be going to the temple tonight to do a little program tonight, singing with Kylie.
And you got duty today, Raghunath.
I've got a duty today. I've got spiritual duties for Mr. Kastuba. Check out that Bhakti Recovery podcast today. Tell me what you think about it.
I'm checking it out.
Okay, and I want everybody to share this podcast with someone they know who needs a spiritual podcast. You got people out there who need a spiritual podcast. You can do that for them. You can give that to them. You can share it. You can like it. You can follow us. You can have them share us, like, and follow us. You can comment on our YouTube videos. You can take a clip of the YouTube video and share that with someone else. There's so many ways to spread this message of God, hope, and love with people. And really, truthfully, that is real service for people. Real service for people is helping them get connected to divinity. You can't fix the material problems. They'll go to the degree that you become connected, those material problems will minimize. It just happens as we get out of the modes of passion and ignorance. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day. Oh, Steve Amari, it's about time.